Hello and welcome to Between the Lines, the show where I give you my thoughts on what's on the sporting bookshelf at the moment. If you've got a book you'd like me to review, I'd love to hear from you. There is the email address. It is sportbetweenthelines@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, please hit the like button and subscribe. Right, let's move on to today's book, and it is Bring On United, Ferguson's Golden Generation, in their own words, by Andy Mitten, published by Harper North, distributed in South Africa by Jonathan Ball, available from all the usual online sources in the shops now. You should expect to pay 440 Rand. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, this show is devoted to people in South Africa, but of course we're reviewing books from around the world, and if you are not spending rands, then that 440 won't mean a lot to you. Divide 440 by 23 if you're spending pounds, 18 if you're spending dollars, and approximately that comes to 19 quid in Britain, $24 in the US, although it's a bit cheaper on Amazon, and there's a Kindle edition for just £12.99. As for Andy Mitten, he's a football journalist who's developed something of a cottage industry in books about Manchester United. Believe it or not, he's written 23 of them. He founded the fanzine United We Stand when he was just 15 years old. He's been writing about the Red Devils ever since. Now, let me just say up front, I understand how polarising football can be. Many of you will have heard the words Manchester United and fallen immediately into one of two categories: Man U fans and non-Man U fans. And if you're the latter, you're probably already heading towards the stop button, but I would urge you to hang on in there. This might look like a puff piece about a team you hate, but it's not. And crucially for this show, it's very well written. So let me try and encapsulate Bring On United. It's a series of 11 essays on players who were key members of Sir Alex Ferguson's squads between 2000 and 2010. They are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jaap Stam, Diego Forlan, Darren Fletcher, Wes Brown, Patrice Evra, John O'Shea, Gary Neville, Dimitar Berbatov, Nemanja Vidic, and Ryan Giggs. And from that list, you should be able to divine one of the themes of the book, which is that the United squad of the first decade of the 21st century was a League of Nations. Ferguson's long-lasting success was built on his ability to blend the products of the famous youth system at Old Trafford with talent from around the world in a manner that stressed one thing overall: the team dynamic. Manchester United today might not be the same mighty juggernaut, but they are still the best-known football team in the world. And over in this book, you'll hear players talking about the pressure they put on themselves to live up to the reputation of the club. And there's not a man amongst them who hasn't got what's known as the hairdryer treatment from Ferguson, a scathing verbal assault for letting down the shirt. And following on from that is the desperate need to be in the starting 11. Another of the recurring themes in Bring On United is the endemic insecurity of professional soccer players. A couple of games in a row on the bench and they get on the phone to their agent and start looking for a new club. And that's as true of the players in this book, United legends all, as of anyone. What separates Bring On United from the run-of-the-mill, however, has nothing to do with player insecurity and general malaise. It's the way that Andy Mitten gets under the skin of his subjects, finding their backstories and exposing exactly what they brought to the party during a period in which United won the Champions League, the Club World Cup, and 6 premierships, amongst many more. Well, a case in point is the Serbian Nemanja Vidic, captain of the club for many of his 300 games spread across 8 seasons. Vidic did his talking on the field at the heart of the United defence and was famously shy of the media. It took Andy Mitten many years to break down Vidic's defence and get him to open up, but the results are fabulous. Vidic speaks of his childhood in Serbia, hiding in bomb shelters from the attacks of NATO planes and playing football as an escape from living in a war zone. Vidic is 6 years older than fellow Serbian and tennis legend Novak Djokovic, who tells similar stories in a book that I've reviewed here on Between the Lines, Searching for Novak. And asked about the intimidation of playing for Manchester United, Vidic reveals he was prepared for it by playing many times in the Belgrade derby, Red Star against Partizan. He speaks movingly about playing for his country while still a teenager and of coming to terms with living in the north of England amongst many other topics. Now, another player to reveal hidden depths not evident during his playing career is Patrice Evra. Born in Senegal, Evra grew up in the tough district of Les Youdis, 20 kilometres southwest of Paris. Thierry Henry is from the same place. And Evra was not an overnight success. He played second-tier soccer in Sicily and France until getting his big break with Monaco. Whilst with Monaco, he won the first of 81 caps for France and then signed for United. At left-back, his defence, alongside Vidic and Rio Ferdinand, proved an insoluble problem for most opponents. Well, Evra's story is about much more than football, and his chapter is an excellent example of why this book differs from so many churned-out hagiographies. Andy Mitten is that rarest of people, a Manchester United fan with depth. The love for his club is imbued in everything he writes, but that doesn't stop him from being able to take a step back and be objective when necessary. There's a fine picture section where each of the players is seen at their playing peak and today, and the distance between the two is the time it took Andy to research and write this book. Speaking as neither a Man U fan nor indeed a soccer fan, I enjoyed it thoroughly and I give it 8 out of 10. That's it for this time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like us and subscribe. See you again soon.